the sort of board that never really misses the other player entirely, because at minimum he has overcards, and with Sammy calling with his smaller suited hands pretty regularly, he's going to flop pairs on that board a lot as well.
Well, we can look at the stats so far. Obviously, Sammy with the big lead. What else do you see?
The aggression's a little higher on Durrr's side. Sammy's been getting to the river as with Thomas the aggressor, and then making good decisions once he gets there. It's not necessarily bad to be the less aggressive player in a heads-up match.
And then I think.
And if you were just to look at those stats we saw,
someone else who won that, and then the
what would you say to Tom as far as the adjustments he should be making?
I think in general the 3-bet pots are going well for him, so 3-betting and playing aggressively, I think he should stick with that. But
what is it for the first round that you get?
Maybe play a little bit more cautiously.
I think it's he gets $20,000. You get like 20,000. You go 20, 40, and then you get up to like if you want to keep playing the pros. Do you know what I mean?
It seems like when the pots get past the turn and river, Sammy's nearly always got the best hand. Is that?
Yeah, it does seem that way.
No, I think it's 4. 2 million is 4.
Does that maybe mean he's just getting better cards? I wonder.
Because I saw the guy. He like
certainly a factor. I mean, they've only played what 50 hands or so far. So.
I remember.
Should we reverse straight?
Sammy's bet this on the turn, checked it on the river. He probably feels like he's got some showdown value here.
Yeah, I would think so. On that sort of board, King High is not the weakest hand in the world. And he even has a pretty good King High.
I shouldn't have let you go for the toilet break.
Now this is a spot for Tom. A lot of guys would check there. He's made the value bet.
It's 4 people.
Okay.
It's 4 people. Is what it is.
I was actually worried that you might have reversed straight. It was real.
Why, did you have 2 pairs?
Concern. Had 9s.
$166,000. I mean, Durrr may even start thinking about reloading. So if it gets to be a big.
Re-raise up to 11,000.
Yeah, as I saw you putting
the strategy he's playing of re-raising a lot out of position does play better with shorter stacks. So maybe he's actually happy to see the stacks get a little shorter.
Okay.
And lately, last 20 or so hands, we've seen a preponderance of Durrr 3-betting and then checking the flop.
Yeah.
I feel like he may have bet a lot of turns. Do you want to be betting this turn, and why or why not?
I think it's a close decision. I think he is going to get called by ace-high hands some here, so betting for value makes some sense. Additionally, if he checks and lets Sammy check back, every card in the deck's a little tough for him on the river.
I'm so excited for Nobu. It's going to be amazing.
You know what? Because I've been coming here all the time.
I wish I could be sponsored by Nobu.
Oh. Because I've been coming here all the time. Yeah, I've been eating, you've been eating the food here, whatever. Like, I've done everything on the menu.
Right.
You know what I mean?
The food here is pretty good, actually.
It's fantastic.
It's really
Listen, the food is fantastic.
Yeah.
But it's like, I had it every day. Every day for like 2 weeks. It's mad. I could reel you off the whole menu.
And it is just like poker players. They're playing for $1 million, and yet,
I like this casino a lot.
really, what they're going to eat for their next meal is at the forefront of their minds.
I was surprised, actually, with the quality of a lot of the London casinos that I've been involved in. Pretty good.
Oh, we've got another 7-deuce pot developing here.
Up to 14,000 total.
And it's
19,000 total.
a big re-raise.
That is a very big re-raise, yeah. I wonder what Tom's going to decide to do with the 8s here. It wouldn't be totally unreasonable to just straight up fold them.
Yeah, what is Sammy's range here now? It's very big hands and the 7-deuce.
Yeah, you would think so. Which isn't an altogether bad plan. Have a sort of separate 3-betting game with the 7-deuce and several very strong hands.
Basically impossible for Tom to call this bet?
I would think so. I would think Sammy has a lot of ace-kings and ace-queens and big pairs in his range before the flop. Even if he's specifically the 7-deuce, that hand has turned into a 5-outer against Tom.
What does the bet size say to you? He's bet just over the pot.
Well, it's continuing with the plan he sort of laid out for himself before the flop of making big bets and forcing Tom to guess, do I have 7-2 or do I have a monster?
And the call rather than the raise and fold. Or fold.
Yeah. Well, it sets up a spot on the turn now where Tom has, if the stacks haven't changed since we last looked at him too much, Tom has just about a pot-sized bet to play here.
The question is, can Sammy pull the trigger? He hasn't.
Though he hasn't given up on the hand yet either, because if he had a set here, he might check that as well. If he has kings or queens or something like that, he can still try again on the river when Tom checks back. I wouldn't be at all surprised to see Sammy jam it here.
Is it the right play overall?
It's hard to say. It very well could be. Tom seems quite likely to have a hand very much like the one he does based on how he's played this. Maybe a little stronger. Maybe he has something like Queen 10 a bit more often than he has 8s. But I would expect him to bet the turn with a very strong hand.
And Tom is wondering if...
I probably should bluff.
Yeah, that...
Huh?
Have a pair.
He must win then. Yeah.
Tom thinking that he may have had to bet there to get Sammy off a queen, a jack, 2-10, something like that.
Yeah, I think Tom is thinking that Sammy might have a hand like ace-jack, jack-10 there.
I was going to bet on the river. You can't call, I don't think.
For some reason, I really thought you might have had 3-7. I still probably fold, but I don't know.
Yeah, Sammy's second-guessing himself when he sees Tom's hand there, which, you know, isn't totally called for. Tom's never going to have a much worse hand than that, really.
Both players feeling like they played it a little weak, but Tom got the money, yeah.
It's a tricky spot. Starting right away from Sammy's big overbet pre-flop, the pot was sort of destined to get tricky.
5,000.
And this is something that Dwan doing a little more than Sammy, sort of leading into the raise, the dunk, right?
Yeah, the donk bet. Leading out of position when the other guy has had the lead on the previous street.
Sammy's hit his worst possible card on the river.
4,000.
Yep.
Cool.
Say call.
Yeah.
2 pair.
Can't blame Sammy for that at all. He's going to see some bluffs. He's going to see some value bets of weaker hands. If Tom has Queen 10, Queen 9, something like that, quite likely plays it exactly the same.
Starting to go the other way just a little bit. Durrrr, not far from even.
Yeah, that 7-deuce versus 8 spot was really big.
I mean, me and Tom are very good friends, you know. It's not just this challenge thing, but we've bonded very, very well. And, you know, we've gelled well, and I think, you know, it's I know the money's important, but a good friendship in this industry is very good as well. And I respect him a lot for it, and I respect him for who he is and what he is. And you know, it's a pleasure and a privilege to play at the highest level with the best. Sammy's
a very fun opponent. Especially when I'm catching cards all the time and winning money. Obviously, anyone's a fun opponent then, but Sammy's fun to be at the table with, and he's a fun guy to hang out with, even across the poker table, so it's been interesting.
Still very early in this match, but
he's up like $5 million this month.
From what you know of Tom Dwan, does it seem like he's on top of his game tonight?
Yeah.
One of the biggest
He seems to be playing pretty well.
He's won...
Raise up to 3,000.
Yeah, he's won, about that. And how much has he done back though, about a couple?
He lost back 2.7 to Patrick, but then he won 800 versus Hillary, so...
So it's like, you know, whatever.
I believe they're talking about the famed Isildur.
Yeah, they must be.
Online player who's sort of come in some ways from nowhere and won, I don't know, 7-8 million or so.